I mean, not to say that religion hasn't done good things, and you know, they do charity work, they do this, they do that, but usually it's interlaced with trying to indoctrinate people into their religion. So in a sense, yeah, they might be helping people, they do things for people, they give, you know, their big charities for people, you know, and I think that's great. You know, there are some good things about it. Although I would rather all of those good things be under the umbrella of a secular kind of group or what have you. Because then there's not an ulterior motive involved in it. And I mean, good is good. I mean, if you're doing good for somebody, and even if you are trying to make them believe in this God or deity or whatever it is that you believe in, well, you know, you still helped them in the physical sense. You helped them here now in this life. So, you know, I'm all for that. Which, you know, I believe this is the only life we have. But this is my thing. I mean, you got my mom, like I said, who's a liberal, who doesn't agree with the right to bear arms. She thinks that should be took out, which, like I said, I was kind of shocked. I mean, I knew that she wasn't as big of you know, I knew she didn't feel like my uncle feels that, you know, if we get a Democrat in office, they're going to take our guns away. You know, I think that's crazy, because it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican. You know, you have a right to bear arms, and I think that's something in our Constitution that should be held on to for dear life. But, you know, I just wonder if she would feel the same way if you were to put the two things up side by side, the right to bear arms and religion. You know, and if you look at what religion has done versus guns, you know, and not to say guns don't kill people, they kill people, but, you know, religion in effect kind of maims in a different way. It can kill people's lives in a different way. It doesn't kill people physically, but it can tear families apart. It can cause wars. You know, it directs who people vote for. The leaders of the free world are a lot of times chosen because of the fact that, you know, well, like Bush getting voted in twice. Personally, I feel like that was a lot of your, you know, conservative Christians, because they always vote Republican. Not to say that there's not an atheist or two that maybe still vote Republican, and, you know, whatever. I'm sure they have reasons for that, but just like I'm sure that there's some Christians that maybe vote Democrat, which is great. But I think it's few and far between with those things. So, you know, I guess basically that's what I'm trying to determine in my mind, and I just want to get your guys' thoughts on it. You know, do you think that atheists should do more, or, you know, just the secular world in general, whether it's atheists, agnostics, whatever, to either try to change people's opinions or to actually try to do something to keep religion from being, or at least any one religion from being like a totalitarian religion in any particular country. And I don't know what the solution to that would be. I don't know how anybody could go about doing that. And like I said, I think the first part is really just debating with people who have these really dogmatic views, or who are very fundamental, or even conservative, however you want to look at it. Because, you know, these are the people that are just really, they seem really brainwashed. They seem really far away from rationality, from logic, from even being reasonable. And it just seems like that has to cross over into their lives in so many other ways. And if you really think about it, there's a lot of ways that can be extremely damaging, not just to them, but it would flow over into everybody, into the community, into the state, into the country. And in a lot of ways, we have seen how that happens. So I guess my question is what do we do about it? And how much do we do about it? Is there anything that can be done about it? I mean, because, as I said, I think most atheists can really look at it, look at religion, and really see the atrocities in that. They can see the lack of morality. They can see that, you know, their brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, moms, dads, whoever, that maybe are still hanging on to that dogma. That, you know, they can see how twisted it is and how brainwashed these people have become with it. You know, they just don't want to let go of this stuff. They don't want to see rationality. It's almost like they would just prefer to believe this. Sometimes I've even thought that even they know that it's really not true, but they hang on to it because it serves other purposes in their lives, or because they've put so much into it that to let go of it, after years and years of, everything that they do is based off of this belief or based off of this religion that, they've indoctrinated their children into it. So to actually be honest with themselves and with other people and just say, you know what, I'm going to actually look at this and look at it from an honest point of view and really decide, is this really what is or what isn't? And, it's almost like they don't even allow themselves that freedom. And now, like I said, it's true, any idea, people can become fanatic about it. It's just like I wanted to say to my mom, or I guess one of the things I thought of after the debate that I should have said was that, anything can be a weapon. You can make a weapon out of anything. Your car can be a weapon. You've got butcher knives in your kitchen. You can throw, a rock at somebody and kill them. It doesn't have to be a gun. Granted, a gun is a lot more effective. Granted. But, you could have, my husband likes swords. He's got swords all over the house. Anything can kill anybody. If that's your intention, then that's what you're going to do. Just like with beliefs, with, religious beliefs or any belief. Somebody could become obsessed about unicorns and it could take over their whole life. And I think that's where, we have to go back to like the Buddha's teachings and stuff that, everything in balance, or the naturalists or whoever you want to say believes in that kind of thing. But I think that there's some truth in that one, that everything in balance. And I don't think that within religion that's possible anymore. I don't think it's possible to have that kind of balance. The only religion I guess I could say maybe has some balance would be like universalism. I think in some of that was kind of where I was when I was crossing over from thinking I was a Christian to becoming atheist, is universalism, because it's a lot more open, a lot less, but I'm sure even that has its, dark places or whatever, and I know a lot of Christians try to point that out all the time, that, oh, well, pagan stuff is in there and whatever, and be careful that you're not going to a church that's, Unitarian or whatever, because, they're not really going from, well, so what, they're still talking about peace and love, and they do, talk about things from the Bible, and so what's the problem? But it would just be nice if there could be, I don't know. I don't want to take something away from people. I'm an artist. I believe in, freedom of speech. I believe in freedom of expression. And I guess maybe for some people, they look at religion and they say, well, that's all it is. It's the freedom of expression. Freedom to believe whatever you want to believe. If you want to think that unicorns, are gods and worship them, then you can do that. But I guess where we have to draw the line, the distinction we have to make is between somebody just believing in something and, whatever, and somebody actually believing in something that has immoral dictates. Because, just like I said, what you believe or the doctrine you're worshiping or whatever, it's going to dictate what you do and how you behave. Not always, not necessarily, but it's a good possibility. So, we can't eradicate everything that has the possibility of making somebody a fanatic. I understand that. But there's got to be a better way, or a more constructive way, to not be so intolerant of these things that we don't try to do whatever it is that we could do to change it. And like I said, I don't know what the solution is. But, I think there's a fine line between, being intolerant about these things and, being massively passive about it. Yeah, we want to have a country where people can believe what they want, as long as they do it in a way that I guess doesn't affect other people and, doesn't hurt other people. And sadly, a lot of the three major religions that we have left end up doing those things, by and large. So, I don't really know what the answer is, as far as that goes. Do atheists all get together and have like their own kind of secular I mean, I don't think that's ever going to happen. I mean, atheists are all just very different people, and I don't even think most atheists like to consider themselves, grouped together with anybody else, even other atheists, a lot of times, because of the fact that they, want to be seen, and they believe that they are free thinkers, and they don't, belong to a sect or whatever. And I'm the same way. I feel the same way. I don't want to feel like I'm a part of a group of people, because that's too much like religion. But I think, for the most part, I think people do clump people together. And if you're an atheist, well, then it's a good possibility you think what this other atheist said 2 weeks ago to that person, And that's not necessarily true. It's generalizing. So give me your thoughts on this. What do you think? What do you think should be done, if anything? Can anything be done? Why are we trying to get people who are, seemingly insane or totally went over the edge? Why do we still try to argue with these people and debate with these people and reason with these people when we know that they're not reasonable? I mean, is it possible that maybe some of what we do say, or some of the debating that we do get the opportunity to do with these people, does it maybe change their mind? Does it maybe get them to think about what they're worshiping and everything? Does it make a difference? Or do you have a better idea? Do you have a better solution that maybe I'm not thinking about that, maybe all atheists could get on board with? Just something to think about.